Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it looks like the free rides are over, right? We're going to talk about MEI versus DEI and how Silicon Valley is saying we need to return to meritocracy, and a lot of shocker. We knew this was happening, right? But now it's actually spelled out very clearly, and the media is freaking out. People in HR freaking out. They're like, oh my God. But like, look, if you look at what has happened in hiring and layoffs and all that, especially in tech, especially in video games over the last couple of years, you can see exactly the kinds of people they're getting rid of. And a lot of them were people that probably were hired under DEI that didn't have the skill set necessary. They were kind of bloat. The people that were posting their 3-hour lunches, their latte breaks on TikTok.
Yes. And here's our wine bar and
here's our
gym.
wine bar. The massages. The massages. Well, I don't know. Can you post massages? Get yourself getting a massage on TikTok? I don't know. But like that's over, that's ending. And look at the projects that are getting cut from streaming services. Again, this is like, anti-racist baby and all this stuff that they know is not going to bring in eyeballs. So yeah, 100%. I agree. We need to return to meritocracy, but people are freaking the hell out because now apparently it's a right-wing dog whistle to say that somebody's got to be qualified for the job. But
then I would argue that DEI is extreme left dog whistle then. And the problem with using DEI is the fact that when people who are qualified are hired, they're not white, straight, or male, people are going to assume, well, you're hired for DEI reasons, which I don't think is fair. And I think actually DEI itself does more damage to diverse people than, meritocracy-based system did, because at least then you knew you were hired because you were flipping qualified.
Well, we're gonna talk about this because I've seen it come up with different people at different tech companies, and TechCrunch is like really they've written like multiple hit pieces.
They're losing their shit. It's funny.
They are, but again, look at who's getting laid off. Look at who, a lot of them are people that just started with the company. They don't really have the skill set, and we're starting to see those are the people that are getting replaced with the AI. Those are the people that are, it is what it is. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
I guess the bird's eye view first, this article coming from Human Resource Director, MEI, new hiring principle sparks debate amid DEI strategies. And Elon Musk is endorsing it, which touts hiring only the best person for the job. That used to be common sense,
that
right?
was like, imagine that,
I mean, really. And what tipped this off was the CEO of Scale. I think his name is Alexander Wang. And he basically said hiring on merit is going to be the permanent policy at Scale. And he proposes MEI, which is merit, excellence, and intelligence. We hire only the best person for the job. We seek out and demand excellence, and we unapologetically prefer people who are very smart. We treat everyone as an individual. We do not unfairly stereotype, tokenize, or otherwise treat anyone as a member of a demographic group rather than an individual. Yeah. That's how it used to be for years. I don't know when DEI exactly crept into hiring, especially in tech, because tech, it's like you can't afford to bring in coders who don't know how to code. But we have a lot of people that don't know how to do stuff. But yeah, it said in his message, which was uploaded on X, the CEO underscored that this hiring principle will not conflict with diversity. No group has a monopoly on excellence. A hiring process based on merit will naturally yield a variety of backgrounds, perspectives, and ideas. We're not going to pick winners and losers based on someone being the right or wrong race, gender, and so on. It should be needless to say, and yet it needs saying.
I know, which is scary.
Doing so would be racist and sexist, not to mention illegal. And this is right after the Disney debacle where they said, hey, in a lot of cases, we do not hire straight white men for certain positions because we have a quota.
But if you get to C-suite, you have to be a white or Jewish guy to be in the C-suite, another person said. So it's they basically said the quiet parts out loud.
It's unevenly enforced. Let's put it that way, right? What do they call it? Pulling the ladder up from behind you. But yeah, he says MEI strategy has been lauded by other leaders, including Elon Musk. Well, yeah, Musk came into Twitter and he gutted it. He basically like, if you can't actually do the job, get the hell out of my company. You're done. I can't pronounce his last name. Toby Aluki, the CEO of Shopify, said, based, good work making it clear. Alex, the CEO of Coinbase, both Coinbase and Shopify, by the way, have come under fire from people because they're like, how very dare you expect us to be qualified for our position? Well said. I expect others will follow. But there's criticism. Fortune Fortune had a hit piece on them, citing DEI experts. DEI experts say
the DEI experts who are going to be out of a job are saying, shit, you can't do that. You have to keep DEI. Of course they're going to say that.
That is exactly it. This is just like sensitivity readers, right?
That's what I was thinking, sensitivity readers.
They're going to make a case for why they have to exist. And same with consultancies and stuff like that. This is why you need us. You need us. Because, it's like you've got people whose careers are dependent on pushing the DEI stuff. Of course, they're going to say, well, this is bad. It's a bad thing. They said merit and diversity shouldn't oppose each other. He was wrong to suggest that hiring managers are free from biases in selecting the best talent for the job. People think that we're over the hill when it comes to diversity and inclusion, both from a racial as well as gender perspective, and they're delusional.
Right, because if we're over the hill, then we don't have a job. And plus, we can't keep screaming about it. So if you think we're free of this, you're wrong. Here's the thing. We grew up in a time where people where they got hired based on merit. Right. People were diverse all the time and nobody gave a flying fuck. And that's what happened all the time. And no one thought anything of it. And then we come to 10 years, last 10 years, 10 years. And suddenly, everybody's racist. And everybody's, against LGBTQ. Yeah. Everybody's against it. I'm like, no, they really aren't. You're just trying to leverage this. And DEI. So if DEI is gone, they lose their job. Is it over the hill? Yeah. It is. Sorry. Actually, your DEI shit's causing more division than what we had before.
Yeah, it is. Because, they're saying, well, these hiring managers might have biases. I'm like, yeah, they might. They might actually say, hey, look, this is a straight white guy. I don't care what his qualifications are.
They already are, yes.
We're not going to hire him.
There are biases. So there's biases either way. At least then you could hire someone who's qualified. But again, like I pointed out before, the problem with these DEI things is that when people are hired that are qualified, that are not white, straight, or male, people, will have the assumptions they are DEI hires. And I keep seeing DEI overused as far as, the bridge collapsed, must be DEI. I'm like, damn, the bridge was built 100 years ago. Bullshit. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the unfortunate downside. It's creating division. It's creating, bigotry that wasn't there before because we had it kind of fixed and then you had to undo it, you dumbasses.
Because what was happening, unfortunately, is people were equating, anyone that is not a white straight male as being unqualified because
there's a lot of white straight males who aren't qualified.
Yeah, again, we shouldn't even be having this conversation in 2024, and this is coming from an Asian guy who was, making the post, but they're so mad because so many of them that have made a career out of this, I think they're going to get gone, like you said. But we've seen it already. They're just stating what is actually going on. And we have seen this since the tech bubble collapsed, 2 years ago or whatever it's been now after the pandemic. We have seen this. The people who are getting tossed overboard are the people who are obviously unqualified for their jobs. The projects that are getting cut or the projects that were obvious DEI brain farts and they weren't going to actually bring any value to the company. It really isn't rocket science. Again, you hire the best person for the job. If the most qualified person for the job is, like I said before, a black lesbian in a wheelchair and she's damn good at her job, you hire her and you keep her happy. That's,
whoever's the best qualified.
Absolutely.
And then it might not be white, straight, male. It's just whoever's best qualified. And then they're going to argue, well, the problem is people who aren't white, straight, and male don't get the same educational opportunities to be as qualified.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. Yeah.
And is that what they're trying to do?
Yes,
and it's like, and that where, you can argue that before. I just know that this is a talking points. But anymore, I can't, over and over again, we're seeing record numbers of people getting special trainings, getting into college over other people because they have diversity checkboxes. And I'm like, so that's no longer where you could have argued that 10 years ago. At this point in time, that's no longer a valid argument. At this point in time, people who went should be qualified.
Yeah.
We're talking 10 years later. They should be qualified by now.
So this is TechCrunch, and they have written multiple pieces. This one actually got a disclaimer from the editor. They said the post has been altered to remove its most offensive language.
Wonder what it said before that.
I think people were calling them out on Twitter, and that's kind of how I'm like, what the hell is going on? Well, it's a good thing that you asked me that, because it's been screen capped, of course. This is the original post. This is an actual TechCrunch article. They said, I would invite, they're talking about Alexander Wang, right? He said, when he talked about MEI, merit, excellence, and intelligence, I cringed so hard I'm going to need a chiropractor. I would invite him and those supporting him to fuck all the way off. You misunderstand me. You thought I wanted you to fuck only partially the way off. Please read my lips. I was perfectly clear. Off you fuck. All the way. Remove head from ignorant ass and then fuck all the way off. This is coming from TechCrunch, which used to be a respected tech blog. Guess who's getting fired all the fucking way off of the site at some point?
Can't afford a chiropractor now.
Can't afford.
I mean, you actually probably need to search and to remove your head from your own asshole.
Yeah. So this is the editor-in-chief. An opinion piece that ran on our site yesterday did not go through our standard review process and was unfair to both our readers and our staff. That post has since been updated to reflect our standards. We'll ensure this doesn't happen again in the future. Boy, this reminds me.
Wait a minute. That's their editor-in-chief. What do you notice about the statement? I'm the editor-in-chief of TechCrunch.
Right.
What's missing in her statement? A very important thing that most people that are editors should know how to use.
Capitalization?
Yes! Hey, Connie! Look up how to put capitalization at the beginning of your sentences. How the fuck are you the editor?
Yeah. So
they're all like, yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Tell me you're a millennial without telling me you're a millennial. I don't use capitalization.
So remember
use punctuation. That's refreshing.
Remember Deadspin? Remember how they had a rogue writer basically destroy the site, and it got so bad that they got sued because they defamed a child. They said the child was racist. He was not racist. And then they wound up selling the site off and not keeping the staff. Yeah, it's probably going to happen to TechCrunch. You cannot play these stupid games. Time to flip the script on tech media. Yes, sir. Yeah, I agree with that. Here's another article they did. This is Silicon Valley leaders are once again declaring DEI bad, meritocracy good, but they're wrong. They're wrong, says Kyle Wiggers.
Why would you want to hire somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing?
Why would
you know why? The next thing is how bigoted are these websites? Because the implication is there's nobody qualified that are actually qualified based on merit that aren't white, straight men. Because if you really believe that people were genuinely qualified for positions and that the people that were diverse are actually, good at their jobs, then why the fuck are you worried? You're actually being more bigoted than people that you're claiming are bigots, because your implication is we don't have DEI, people that are diverse won't get jobs. And I'm like, but if it's based on merit and their qualifications, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, they should. That's
kind of like really insulting. That's why it's up there with, you have to have, having ID is racist to vote because you need it for everything else. But because, those black people are too dumb to have ID.
They bring
I'm
up.
like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's so insulting.
In this TechCrunch article, they do bring up Black Lives Matters for some reason. And also,
didn't it turn out they were like allegedly embezzling money and stuff?
Oh, you're not allowed to talk about that. It just disappeared down the memory hole. But they bring it up in here, and they're like, Wang is far from the only Silicon Valley insider to attack DEI. He joins a chorus of those who feel DEI programs implemented at businesses over the past several years, peaking with Black Lives Matters, caused a backslide in corporate profitability. Well, the numbers don't lie.
I don't even think it's DEI so much as it's a bunch of entitled younger people who think that they should be given everything they don't have to work for. I don't think that has anything to do with diversity and inclusion.
I think we hired a bunch of people who were bloat. Like, I started working in tech years ago, and we only hired people that knew how to do the job. We didn't have a lot of bloat. And here we've got assistant social media manager, project manager.
But I think you have these like the end of the line, the ones that are very late end millennials who are like in their 20s or early 30s. And then you have these, the beginning of the Gen Zs who were like in their 20s and, whatever. And they all thought that I'm going to go in and be the chief hype officer. And I'm going to go and where's, how we talked about it. And then it's like, and we get, here's our massage room, here's our wine bar, here's first, second, and third lunch breaks. Here's, it's like you have no time. Here's our little quiet room where we can be like, if we need time for ourselves. Here's our meditation spot. Here's our gym. When you have time to work out? Well, I usually do it. Like I take an extra break for that. You know what I mean? That's probably a big part of why you lost a lot of money. And that's not even necessarily based on diversity or anything else. This is based on mentality and, entitlement.
Yeah, it's so weird that they're really attacking
the
this.
4-star chef for our lunches. We had to bring our own lunch from home. What the hell?
They're attacking this Asian man. He's not a straight white man. I'm just saying, but yeah, they're talking about how the DEI jobs fell out of favor, and they're like, yeah, but hiring might be biased in Silicon Valley, and diverse teams, have better outcomes. I'm like, all they care about, look, this is corporate America. All they care about is profitability. Is my company profitable? And he's not saying he's not going to hire diverse candidates. In fact, I'm sure he will. They're just not, that's not going to be the first thing they look at. What they're going to do is what they used to do. They look at your resume and be like, who is the most qualified? Let's just look at the data. Who has the best track record? Who has the best experience? Who has the best references?
You know what my dad used to do? My dad would hire, and he was head of maintenance for someplace. And what he would do for the interviews, because anybody can just come in and blow the sunshine up your ass and tell you they're qualified. Doesn't mean they know what they're doing. So what he would do was he would have stuff in front of him that he would need them to wire or whatever. And he'd be like, okay, I need you to wire this, 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 and this. And then they'd have to do it. Because he wanted to see not only, because anybody can lie, you had to see that they actually could do it. It didn't matter to him if it was a man, a woman, if they were white, if they were otherwise, if they were straight, if they were not, didn't care. He just wanted to know if you could do the damn job. It's as simple as that.
That's supposed to be how
it's just common sense. Can you actually do it?
Yeah.
I want to see you do it and not just tell me you can do it. Show me you can do it. Show me examples of how you did it. It's a fair thing to say.
Yep. I think so. So I think we're going to see a lot more of this. We're seeing it in the studio side in Hollywood. We're seeing it in video games. I think the reason a lot of these projects are getting canceled, these game studios are getting sold off for the very same reason. We tried it this way and it led to financial ruin.
Well, they really need TechCrunch to stop being so bigoted.
I know, right? They're attacking this Asian man. Stop it.
Well,
Stop
not just that. I'm like about the fact that their implication is that if we don't have DEI, then people
can't get hired based on merit.
Qualified. Yeah, people aren't. Anybody that's diverse isn't qualified enough to get a job on their own, which is really fucking insulting.
I can't beat this game without the cheat code. What the hell?
It's really insulting. Anyway,
so we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
This is gonna be really interesting, and we're gonna see a lot of very, very salty people in the very near future. But
so that ends in Y.
Yeah, if you're qualified, if you're good at what you do, you don't have anything to worry about. You never did.
For the love of God, if you're an editor, please use capitalization.
Yeah, that too. So let's wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.